With the completion of the Phase 5, India is now almost halfway through its 9 days of voting for a new parliament. To discuss some of the interesting events that have taken place over the past week, I now have with me Sukumar. Thanks, Sukumar. So my first question to you is, what were your observations of the elections that happened across 12 states?
If there's one thing we can take away from what's happened so far, it's the fact that things are going to be very different this time around. The turnout has been high everywhere. Analysts usually believe that there is a correlation between voter turnout and anti-incumbency, a direct positive correlation. The second thing is a subsidiary takeaway, which is really the fact that across the country, young people seem to be voting with a very, very aspirational bent of mind, right? They're looking at development, they're looking at progress, they're looking at jobs. If you were to ask me whether there's one theme to this elections, it's probably jobs.
Now, an interesting development was that the former media advisor as well as the former coal secretary, they've both released books that have painted the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh as a weak figure. What's your take on this?
You know, these people were obviously closer to things than any one of us on the outside was. But it fits in with the prevailing narrative, right, of a man who was so happy just being the Prime Minister that he wasn't really concerned about performing his duties, because if you want to behave like the Prime Minister, it means taking charge, it means putting your foot down. But if you are happy to just be the Prime Minister, which means you get all the perks of the job and are quite happy to take instructions from the party or from the party president, then you're literally a figurehead. And that's really what seems to have happened. The question that remains unanswered to me, and the obvious question begging to be asked, is why didn't he leave? But just to answer your question, not surprising, but it's finally out, right? And clearly, tell-all narratives are not really new in India, but it's good to have them come out at this point in time ahead of the elections. Good for the publishers.
True. And finally, I know you are a Twitterati yourself. How do you perceive social media as? Do you think it's a determiner or just an influencer?
I think it's neither. It's just there. How many people are there on social media, right? The number of registered accounts from India is 40 million, I think, or it could be 35 million. It's not higher than 40 million. 1% of it is active, or maybe 2%. You compare that with the 815 million voters who are there in India, and you realize that it's pretty insignificant. And of course, some of the parties are very active. Both of the mainstream parties are quite, let me put it this way, all three of the big parties, which is the Congress, the BJP, and this time I would actually call them a big party, which is the Aam Aadmi Party, because of their presence on social media. All three of them are very active on social media. But I don't think these people are influencers. I don't think these people are in any way going to influence the outcome of the election. I don't think these people are thought leaders. I think that's vastly exaggerated. It's a small community of people. It's just another medium that's there. I really think TV, print, local language television, regional language print, these are the ones that are really going to matter. Social media is going to be very, very small, and it's a very, very urban phenomenon.
Great. I think that's a good point. Thank you so much for your time. Stay tuned with us as we continue to get you the latest news and views on the Indian elections. See you next week.